Welcome back, students. Today we are going to learn the concluding part of our chapter, the Indian Constitution. In the previous videos, we have seen the importance of the Constitution and what is a Constitution. The Constitution was enacted by the Constituent Assembly on 26 December 1949 and came into effect on 26 January 1950. Conscious efforts were made to have consensus on different issues and principles in order to avoid disagreement. Thus, the Constitution was carefully drafted under the chairmanship of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, who is also known as the father of the Indian Constitution. Let's begin with the key features of the Constitution. The first key feature is federalism. That means it refers to the existence of more than one level of government in our country. We have government at the center, at the state, and the third tier of our government is the Panchayat Raj. Okay, our constitution has ensured that all the power does not rest with the center. Instead, even another level of government in the state gets some powers so that it can take important decision for a particular area. Okay, and all the government policies must even reach at the grassroots level. So the Panchayat Raj takes care of the rural areas in our villages, and they also have some power. So the entire power is not rested with the central government. On certain national issues, the state has to follow the laws of the central government. And all persons in India are governed by the laws made by each levels of the government. The next key feature of our constitution is the parliamentary form of the government. Our constitution guarantees universal adult suffrage for all the citizens. Suffrage means right to vote in political elections. So all the citizens are having right to vote. The different tiers of the government that we have just seen, the three different tiers of government, that is government at the center, government at the state, and the Panchayat Raj. They all consist of representatives who are elected by the people. Okay, so we get representatives only by elections. Every citizen of the country, irrespective of their background, social background, economic background, irrespective of their caste, creed, sex, they can also contest in elections. Okay, everybody is having the right to contest in election, whether he is rich or poor. So these representatives are accountable to the people. Whatever work they do, they are accountable to the people. The people can always ask questions to their representatives because it is the duty of the representative to fulfill the demands of the people of that particular constituency or area. Okay, the next very important feature of our constitution is separation of laws. Okay, now this is very important part. In the previous slide, I have discussed about that our government, central government is not having the entire power. It's not resting with the central government. So, our constitution provides us with three organs, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. Okay, so the legislature is our parliament, where all the elected representatives sit in the parliament along with the government and the opposition parties and all the other parties members who have won the elections, and they are the representative of that particular constituency. So they all come together and they decide, they make laws, they pass bills together. Okay. Now that is the first organ, legislature, which has the power to pass bills. They also have the power to remove the prime minister or to dissolve the government in case if they are not having proper numbers. If they are not able to prove their numbers in the parliament, then they can dissolve the government. They can even overrule the bills, they can change the decision of the government if it is not according to the law. And the next organ is the executive. Executive will be Prime Minister and his cabinet of ministers. Okay, they will carry out all the laws that is passed in the legislature, in the parliament, whatever bills are passed, whatever policies are made. So its execution will be done by the government. Okay, and whether they are executing their work or power or their policies properly or no is also checked by the third organ, that is judiciary. Judiciary includes our Supreme Court, High Court and all the subordinate courts. Okay, now here what is very important is uh, purposely our constitution has is been made in such a way that the government will not have entire power. Otherwise all the governments will be free to do whatever they like. So the legislature keeps the watch and the judiciary also keeps the check on the government whether they are doing the work properly or no. Okay, so this is a system of check and balance on the government. Okay, the judiciary also has the power to rule out the decisions that is unconstitutional. Okay, so the whatever decisions are wrongly taken by the government can be overturned by the Supreme Court. Okay, it can also instruct the government to change, to amend the decision that it has taken. So Supreme Court has the judiciary has so much power that it can also tell the government to amend the decision. So these two organs, legislature and judiciary, keeps a balance and check on the work of the government. Okay, so in this way these three organs balance our entire government system. Now let's see the fundamental rights of our citizen. This is the next feature of our constitution. Okay, so we have also been given some fundamental rights by our constitution to safeguard our interest. So let's see the first right, right to equality. This means that all persons shall be equally protected by the laws of the country. It also states that no citizen can be discriminated against the basis of religion, caste or sex. Every person can access to all public places including playground, hotels, shops. Okay, so the state cannot discriminate against anyone in matter of employment. Thus, everyone is equal according to our constitution. The next right that is given to the citizen is right to freedom. Okay, right to freedom includes freedom of speech and expression, the right to form associations, the right to move freely and reside in any part of the country, and right to practice any occupation, any profession or any business. The next is right against exploitation. The Constitution prohibits human trafficking, forced labor and employment of children under 14 years of age. So, the children are also getting their rights safeguarded by our constitution. Then comes right to cultural and educational rights. The constitution states that all minorities, religious or linguistics, can set up their own educational institution in order to preserve and develop their own culture. Then we have right to constitutional remedies. This allows citizens to move to the court if they believe that any of their fundamental rights have been violated by the state. Okay, if the government has not given them particular right, then the citizen can go to the court of law and ask for justice. Okay, then we have right to freedom and religion. Here religious freedom is provided to all the citizens. Every person has the right to practice, profess and propagate the religion of their choice. The government does not force the citizen to propagate or preach or practice any one religion. All the citizens are free to practice the religion of their choice. And the last key feature of the Indian Constitution is secularism. A secular state is one in which the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. Like in India, we have many religions. People practice, preach, propagate many religions. Okay, like we have Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Hinduism. So many religion is practiced, propagated, and everybody is free to preach, practice any religion of their choice. So our constitution has given us this freedom to be a secular state, and there is no one religion that the government states as the state religion. Let's conclude today what we have learned. The key features of the Constitution are federalism, parliamentary form of the government, separation of powers, fundamental rights, and secularism. Thus, Constitution plays a crucial role in laying out the ideals that we would like all citizens of the country to adhere to, including the representatives that we elect to rule us. So students, here we complete with our chapter, the Indian Constitution. I will be sending you some notes, so please refer to that and learn. Thank you.